Good day, dear students. Today's our talk is about presentation skills and public speaking. Public speaking, what is that? Public speaking is speaking to a group of people in an organized way to give information, influence, or persuade, or to entertain listeners. In public speaking, there are 5 important questions which are often expressed as who is saying what, to whom, using which medium, with what effects. Let's now turn to presentation skills. Here, you can see a student giving a talk confidently. So what is presentation? Presentation, a short or longer talk by one person or group of presenters to a group of people introducing, discussing, describing a particular topic, subject, or matter. For example, we can discuss a new textbook and present it, study course or product, findings through figures, or a proposed advertising campaign. Why is developing presentation skills important? Every educated or non-educated person lives in a society full of demands. To be successful through a career path, many struggle with challenges of rhetoric that they should be able to demonstrate in public speaking events. Some of the events are conference presentations, commercial presentations, briefings, talks, lectures, press conferences. So what do we do in this event? For example, in a formal talk on a serious subject given to a group of people, especially students, it is a lecture. A teacher needs to present a topic and of course teach. In an occasion when a teacher or expert and group of people meet and study, discuss something, it can be a seminar. Another form might be a talk describing a product that can be both. One more thing is the act of showing someone how to do something or how something works. It is a demonstration. A meeting at which a person or organization makes public statement and reporters can ask questions is a press conference. And as you see, these events need rhetoric and ability to talk before audience. So what strategies can be taken? First of all, as a presenter, everyone needs to consider a listener. Frame presentation as though you were the one sitting in the audience. Ensure your audience knows what's in it for them. And if the answer is not much, you may as well pack up and leave before you walk them to snores. Begin with the end in mind, speak as if to one individual. More? Yes. Important parts of presentation include content, structure, voice and body language, audience engagement, quality of execution. So how to prepare for presentation? In order to be ready for presentation, first of all, you need to be able to prepare for presentation. What might it include in itself? Preparation. When you are preparing your presentation, there is one thing you should always keep in the back of your mind. It is the audience. The sole purpose of the presentation is to communicate whatever you have to say to an audience. Position yourself being in their shoes and answer the following questions. Who, what, why, and how. Who are they and who are you? It's essential to know who your audience will be. Are they your classmates, professors, professionals, and what do they know about you? Do you need to inform then do you need to introduce yourself? Different audiences have different needs, and different audiences may need different communicative approach. Preparing little things is also important. There is truth in the old saying, it's the little things that count. Often, when we are preparing a presentation, we prepare the content, the slides, general storyline, and it's often the little things that catch us off guard. For example, how do you start your presentation? What do you say? But what about in English or any other language for that matter? Do you say hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, dear audience? How do you end? What do you say? Thank you for your attention. Or how do you prepare your signpost, like next, finally? Also think of the specific terms you use to describe what is in your slide. Are you showing a picture or more specifically graph, table, or chart? Next point worth to consider is structuring your presentation. Where can I take them? Your presentation is very much like a journey. Guide your audience through the content. Use signposts to indicate what you're presenting and where you're going. Examples of signposts. Next, I will discuss. Now I'd like to move on to, finally, to conclude. Signposts are also important tools to keep the audience awake, focused, and engaged. Thinking audience and finding your own voice is not less important. You should not read while you are presenting. Design your slide appropriately. When giving a presentation from a communication perspective, speaking is always better than reading. However, when you find yourself in the situation when you are going to read, there are a few techniques you can use to make it more enjoyable for the audience. Always address audience even when reading. Make sure you take your eyes off the paper and look at the audience. Highlight parts in the text that you wish to stress. Keywords, signposts, words that evoke. The size of the cue cards should be appropriately cut down. Design your slides appropriately. PowerPoint comes with a handy print function which allows you to print handouts. Use this so you have an overview which slides comes next. Do you know about the presenter's view in the PowerPoint? If you don't, you should definitely check it out. If you go through the steps, you'll often find that you actually don't need to read. So, what are some expressions that might be helpful to you while presenting? Before starting presentation, you need to think about preparation of introduction of yourself and the topic. You can include in your strategies expressions like, let me introduce myself, I am. Today, I will be talking about. Today, I will be concentrating on. As you all know, I'm going to take a look at, I'm going to examine. Next is overview and stating points. The overview includes expressions like the issue I want to mention and discuss, the issue I want to discuss. It is important to begin by saying there are a number of things to consider when looking at the issue of it makes sense to start by. You can state points by saying, in my opinion, in my view, I think that the main reason I have chosen is I consider this to be important because. You can add more points and summarize by following expressions. Firstly, first of all. Secondly, thirdly, finally, in addition. What's more, another point to consider is I'd like to move on to, and I'd like to look at, this leads me to my next point. There are certain expressions that summarize your points. They are following. I have talked about, that brings me to the end, well, that's about it for now. We have covered in general, on the whole. Relating end to the beginning. It is very important because you need to mention your audience, what was stated in order to make your presentation memorable. So the close is that much important as the beginning, because your audience should remember your presentation. So how do we relate the ends to the beginning? There are certain expressions that help us. So I hope you are clearly on to return to the original question. So if we look at what I said in the beginning, these expressions serve you as signposts to close your presentation. You can say, in conclusion, then, it is clear that, to conclude, therefore, I would say that. Questions are also very important part of your presentation. And here, things might go wrong. While introducing questioning part, you can say, thank you for your attention. I would be glad to answer any questions you might have. If you are unable to answer these questions, you can use this expression. That's an interesting question. I don't actually know, but I'll get back to you later. Good question. What do you think? Let us discuss together. If things go wrong, you might use following expressions. Let me say another way. Perhaps I can rephrase that. Put another way, that means what I mean to say is, thank you. That was the end of the presentation. Now, I'd like you to watch a video by a student